So again, we'll call this meeting to order. She wasn't quite ready for me, July 16, 2024, 4:30 p.m. And Hope, you want to call the roll?
Do the invocation first.
Oh, okay. No, I'm going to call on Melinda.
If you would stand, please. O Lord, what an amazing opportunity you have spread out before us. A chance to make a difference for you in a desperately hurting world. Help us to see the needs you want us to see, to react in a way that honors you, and to bless others by serving them gladly with practical expressions of your love. Help us be Jesus' hands and feet, and through your Spirit, give us the strength and wisdom to fulfill your plans for our community. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Melinda, for those kind and uplifting words. Hope, I think you're on.
Commissioner Bailey,
Here.
Commissioner Beasley Brown. Here. Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Perigin,
Here.
and Mayor Alcott is absent.
We are to awards and recognitions. I do have one, and then I'm going to let Mr. Meisel kind of elaborate on it. Once again, and I think it's the 23rd year, I'm going to read this letter from, congratulations, Katie, from the Government Finance Officers Association. We are pleased to notify that your annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023 qualifies for GFOA's Certificate of Achievement in Excellence in Financial Reporting. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. When a Certificate of Achievement is awarded to a government, an award of financial reporting achievement, AFRA, is also presented to the individuals or department designated by the government as primarily responsible for having earned the certification. This award has been sent to the submitter as designated on the application. We hope you will arrange for a formal presentation of the Certificate of Award of Financial Reporting Achievement and give appropriately publicly this to this notable achievement. And then they're providing a news release. So I just want to say thank you, and Jeff, would you elaborate on what that really means?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Perigin. We strive to get this every year. This is more or less, or more, I'll say, the Finance Department's accreditation. There is no accreditation for the Finance Department to get like we have in police, fire, public works, 911, code compliance. And so we've always strived to get this. It's kind of the stamp of approval, standard of excellence for government accounting, finance. And so I'd like to thank Katie for her leadership and continuing this great tradition that we have going with this award. And I'll let Katie speak and maybe say some other thank yous. So, Katie.
Erin Ballou is here tonight, not for this reason, but she is here in the audience, so I want to thank her as well, because she really takes all the information and she puts it all together and makes it readable and understandable. So that is really Erin's place, and so she takes care of all of that. Is this our 18th year, I think? And so we're very fortunate to have Erin and all the rest of the finance staff, but we're just very pleased that we're able to continue this.
Erin, would you mind to, I know the numbers of people aren't really, out there, but would you mind to stand up and let us congratulate you? Thank you. Mr. Meisel?
The comment I have is my usual Is anyone in the audience wanting to make public comments? Please sign the register in the back corner of the room, and we'll take those up after regular session. That's all I've got.
I have one small thing to add to the recognitions. There's a ex-city commissioner out there that served our city, I thought, very, very well. His name is Delane Simpson. He's also a retired Army, had serving 3 terms in Vietnam, and amongst many other accomplishments that Delane has had. And he's going to be recognized tonight at 6 and 10 on WBKO for this week's Hometown Hero. Very well deserved, and so I wanted to say that about, most of you all probably remember Delane or know him from the community, because he has been just an outstanding member of our community. So congratulate Delane if you see him. Okay. Can we get an approval of minutes from our last meeting? So, okay. Motion by Carlos Bailey, second by Melinda Hill.
Bailey?
Here. I mean,
Please.
yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Okay. We're going to jump right in here. Municipal order number 2024-141.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Stephen Purvis to the position of police sergeant in the police department.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Carlos Bailey. Mr. Meisel?
So I'd like to ask Lori, Chief Delaney. I couldn't see you. Thank you, Chief. Chief Delaney, come up and make his recommendation for promotion of this sergeant in the police department.
Lori's prettier.
Mr. Meisel, Commissioners, thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's always a great time to come before you for a promotion. It's good and it's also sad because we've got a great list of people, but Officer Purvis has risen to the occasion tonight, and I would like to bring him for recommendation for the position of sergeant for the promotion. He's been with us since 2013. He comes from Franklin, and he graduated high school in Franklin Simpson in 1998. That's when I started here at the Bowling Green Police Department, but making me feel old tonight. He's been married for 15 years to his wife Amanda. They have 3 daughters, Brooklyn, Briley, and McKenna. Since he's been with the police department, he's been on our bicycle unit. He's a police training officer, a master police officer, and he's part of our UAS unit, the drone unit. He's been an acting sergeant on 2 occasions, and he's shifted around on different shifts to fill in when we needed him, always with a I can do it attitude and no hesitation on filling in. Did a great job in the acting sergeant position, and he's also a firearms instructor. So without any reservations, I'd like to recommend Officer Purvis for the promotion of sergeant tonight. I'll take any questions.
Questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Mind if I have him stand in his
I
family?
am so sorry. Thank you, officer, and congratulations. Do you have any family with you? Would you introduce, I met your parents downstairs.
My wife Amanda, youngest McKenna, my oldest one Brooklyn, my middle one had to work short notice, couldn't get off. My mom Erla, my brother Mike, his oldest Clara, and my stepdad.
Well, congratulations. Just like being a police officer in the Bowling Green Police Department, it's a family affair, guys. And so I just think it's wonderful. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Okay, let's make this official.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes, congratulations. All righty. Municipal order number 2024-142.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Brandy Austin to the position of Housing Recertification Specialist in the Neighborhood and Community Services Department.
So moved.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr.
I'd like to
Meisel?
ask Brent Childers, our Neighborhood Community Services Director, to come up and make this recommendation. Brent?
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Commissioners. Pleasure to have the opportunity tonight to come before you. This is actually a new position in the city. We have had 3 of these historically in Neighborhood and Community Services. These are all in our housing division.
But as part of the FY25 budget, we requested an additional position due to the growth. We've added 144 vouchers to our program since I came on in 2010, thanks to the leadership of Ms. Elvira Ramick, our Housing Division Manager. And so that brought about additional demands of managing the increased caseload. And so we requested an additional housing research specialist, and we chose none other than Brandy Austin. She's been with us for 7 years. She served as our housing support specialist, so she's been the person on the front lines every day dealing with the paperwork, the clients, all the questions, the waiting list, the pulling the people, all the processes that it takes to get somebody from that initial application to an actual voucher where they're getting assistance from us. She's handled that process for us, and now she's ready to move up and become a housing recertification specialist. Sorry, all the titles are running through my head at the same time. But we are proud to have her as part of our team. She's been a joy to work with, and I look forward to continuing to work with her as she steps into this new role in our housing division. Any questions? I'll be glad to entertain. Any concerns? I'll be glad to address those as well.
Do you have any questions?
Oh, and Brandy is here. If you would stand.
Give her a hand.
There you go.
It's always great to see somebody promoted from within. Congratulations. Anybody have any questions or concerns or comments?
Appreciate the work that you're doing. You know, having someone to give those vouchers is very important to our community. So, you know, congratulations on, you know, getting your promotion, but I appreciate what you've already done in the position that you was working in.
Brent, just for the record, how many Housing Choice vouchers are we currently managing? And I don't want to put you on the spot, just a general.
750.
Wow, that's
750.
incredible.
We had 606 whenever I started, and now we're up to 750. It changes pretty frequently anymore, but we've been at 750 for the last several months, and we continue to look for opportunities to grow that number, to continue to invest in affordable housing in our community. Many of you saw some of us in Frankfurt last week accepting another check that'll be coming before you all for further investment in affordable housing that this city continues to make on behalf of the residents. So I appreciate y'all's support as we continue to make those pushes.
Somewhere just under 700 affordable homes are coming our way from outside funding sources.
That's correct.
And that is really, truly incredible, incredible. So it's a game changer for this community.
That's correct.
Anybody have any further comments, questions? All right, thank you, Brent. Well, let's make this official.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes, congratulations. Municipal Order Number 2024-143.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Anthony Brown to the position of crew leader in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr. Meisel.
All right, now it's Parks Maintenance turn. I'd like to ask Mike Mitchum, our Parks Maintenance Division Manager, to come up and make this recommendation. Mike?
I'm pleased and excited to be able to present an employee for a promotion. There's a unique story. One of the reasons I'm so excited about this is a new position for FY25, a much-needed position in parks. And we were able to pick from, we had 6 candidates that we interviewed, 4 of which were outstanding. Any one of the 4 we felt like was capable. That was exciting. What makes this even more exciting is this is another success story for our seasonal employees. Anthony and Danessa come to us last year as seasonal part-time help. Anthony was based at Lovers Lane and was helping Tim Kickert. Danessa was a custodian at Moxley Center, both of which have added a lot to our division. Great workers, great attitudes. In fact, a little bit of background with Anthony that I think was interesting. One of the reasons that we actually picked him out of the 4 candidates, I'd never heard of working campers before, but Anthony and Danessa had been working campers for the past 6 years. And what that means is they traveled around the country in a camper. They would find employment at campgrounds, and part of they got to stay for free, got a wage, but their job was to maintain the campground. So that's mowing, weed eating, electrical, sewer, just about anything you can think about. Well, guess what Parks Maintenance does? So, they said that they worked in Utah, New Mexico, California, Michigan, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, and Kentucky. They done it for 6 years. And we're just excited that they've decided to land in Bowling Green, which is home to Anthony. You guys may even recognize his name. Just about a month ago, he was actually promoted from seasonal part-time to full-time. And just because of everything that he's presented to us in this short time that he's been with us last year and this year, the initiative, the goal, the work ethic, he's a great asset to Parks Maintenance. So if I can get Anthony to stand up, that way we can put a face with a name. His wife Danessa's with him.
Will you introduce your wife, Anthony?
That's my beautiful wife,
Danessa, you can stand up.
I am very excited and very pleased to encourage you guys to approve this promotion.
I'll tell you, Mark, as a camper, an avid camper, that's not an easy job. Plus, you got to make everybody happy, and they're not always happy. Most of the time until nighttime. I'll speak for Anthony and his family, known him since he was a young child, and our kids went through Boy Scouts together all the way to the end. And so, way to go, Anthony's an Eagle Scout, and he's going to be shy about that. But definitely more than qualified. So I'm excited to see you, meet you, Danessa, and anybody have any comments or questions?
Anthony, that's a unique story. Did you do any type of podcast or anything?
We looked into doing like a YouTube type channel.
That's what I was thinking about.
Being on camera wasn't my favorite.
I understand. Well, welcome back to Bowling Green.
Good to see you. Anybody else? Okay, let's call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. We'll look forward to great things to come, Anthony. Oh, and Danessa works part-time for the city also. So there you go. Okay, municipal order number 2024-144.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Robbie Hammock to the position of Staff Accountant 2 in the Finance Department.
So move.
Second. Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Meisel?
So a lot of these, as you all see, were positions you all approved for the FY25 budget with our growth. And as we grow our support departments, they have to grow a little bit every now and then too. And so this one here is for finance. We had, you all were approving a staff accountant position, to add one, which created a promotional opportunity, and like Katie to introduce this one for the senior staff accountant.
So we
I'm
did-
sorry, staff accountant 2 in
Yeah.
finance.
Staff
Katie.
accountant 2. This was the new position that was added in the 25 budget. And so I would like to recommend Robbie Hammock be promoted to this position. Robbie's been with the city since 2016, serving as our staff accountant 1. And she's in the accounting division, because we have 2 of them, and she's in the accounting division. She has a degree in accounting from Kentucky Wesleyan College, and her prior work, before coming to the city, she worked with WKU, Quad Graphics, Allen County Health Department, and Dollar General Corporation. So she's got quite a bit of experience behind her, and her promotion is well-deserved. I'm looking forward to that. This is brand-new position, so she's going to kind of make it her own, and so we're excited about that. Unfortunately, Robbie could not be here tonight. She had a previous commitment. Otherwise, I would ask her to stand, but she's not here to stand. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
We can congratulate her anyway, in case she goes back and watches
Yes.
later, so we'll give her a... So, any further comments or questions, or congratulations? Let's call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-145.
Municipal order approving the promotion of Amanda Cannon to the position of Staff Accountant 1 in the Finance Department.
Moved.
Second.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill.
I'm going to hand off to Katie on this one as well. Katie?
As we just approved Robbie to move up, we now need to backfill Robbie's position as Staff Accountant 1. So Amanda Cannon is who I'm recommending for promotion. Amanda's been with the city since 2017, and she came in as a financial specialist at that time, working in our treasury office. And then she transitioned over to our accounting division in September of 2021. Robbie has a degree from University of Phoenix, a degree in accounting, and we are very excited to be able to promote her as well. She also volunteers her time utilizing her accounting skills for some local nonprofits. And so she is a very qualified individual. We're excited to be able to do both of these at the same time. We still would need to backfill the financial specialist position, but we're very excited for Amanda to be able to move up in the organization.
Amanda here?
She is not. She also had a previous commitment, so we apologize for that, but she had made other commitment.
Well, like we did for Robbie, let's congratulate her
Yes.
so we can. Okay, thank you. And call the roll?
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-146.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Isabella Von Steinfort to the position of Police Cadet 2 in the Police Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill.
I'd like to ask Lori Gray, our HR manager, to come up and make this recommendation for Policeville. Lori?
Good evening. Yes, I'm here to request the approval of the appointment of Isabella Von Steinfort, and she is here with us this evening, if you want to stand up. She is going to be recommended for the position of Police Cadet 2. This will be our first hire for Class 8. Is that right? Class 8, yes. In that Police Cadet 2 position, for that holding position until the class begins in October. She graduated from Greenwood High School. She also has a bachelor's degree in criminology and sociology from Western Kentucky University, and she currently works at Dick's Sporting Goods as a customer service specialist. We're excited to add her to Class 8. If you have any questions, just please let me know.
Isabella, do you have anybody here with you this evening?
I do. My mother, Elizabeth, and my younger sister, Iris.
Okay. Well, congratulations, and we'll give her a hand. You'll be seasoned by October, won't you? Anybody have any questions or comments?
Congratulations, I guess, on being the first of Class 8. Yeah. What year did you graduate?
College was in 2024. Yep, it was this year, and then high school, 2022.
Oh, wow. So you graduated within 2 years then?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to the family. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, call the roll. Let's make it official.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes, congratulations. Municipal order number 2024-147. Thank you all.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Leslie Steen to the position of Office Associate 1 in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Meisel?
I'd like to ask Tiara Britt, our HR manager, to come up and make this recommendation.
Good
Tiara.
afternoon, Tiara.
Good evening, everyone. So Ms. Leslie, we would like to recommend her for the Office Associate position at Parks. This became available due to a transfer from our previous Office Associate, Ms. Rachel Haley, who has now working at the Police Department. But Leslie, she was she worked at Fruit of the Loom for 29 and a half years. Pretty much her whole life. She started from the bottom and worked her way up, and she really impressed us during the interview process. So we would like to recommend her for that. And she is here with us this evening.
Right. I don't see anybody with you, but, Okay. Oh, there you go. That sounds good, too.
I'm going to support Leslie. She's related to me, so.
Really?
I'm going to support her tonight as family, so.
Well, there you go. There you go. Jeff's with you, as we all are. Anyway, congratulations. I know that's got to be a little bit daunting to move from a 29-year career to a new, but it'll be fun. Anybody have any questions or comments?
I'll just say I'm thrilled that the city has her. I remember my days at Fruit and Loom. She was there and did a great job, so I'm thrilled she's at the City of Bowling Green now.
All right, let's make it official.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-148.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Jason Souders to the position of Fire Code Inspector in the Fire Department.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. Mr.
Can I
Michael.
ask TR to come back up and make a recommendation for this position in Fire Department?
So we would like to recommend Jason Souders to Fire Code Inspector. He retired and previously worked with the fire department for 19 years, came back out of retirement last year and came on board as an entry-level firefighter, EMT. And with the transfer, or excuse me, a promotion of Steve Coleman into a supervisory role, this position was available. So with his 19 years of service with us, we couldn't think of anybody better to put in this position. He's not here with us tonight, but we would like to make that appointment for him.
Let's congratulate him also. Congratulations, Jason. Anybody have any comments?
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's great. We like to see him come back, the good ones. That's for sure. All righty, let's make it official. It's true.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-149.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Dwan D. Savage to the Bowling Green Municipal Utilities Board.
So moved.
Second.
It was motion by Carlos Bailey, second by Hill. And this one I am going to turn over to Melinda. This is her recommendation, so. Please
Thank
do.
you, Mayor Pro Tem Perigin. I'm honored tonight to present Dwan D. Savage to be a member of the Bowling Green Municipal Utilities Board. I've had the opportunity to know Dean for the last 13 years, and I've considered it a privilege. He's become a really close friend. He is a graduate of Mid-South Barber College. He's been a master barber for 34 years. I know several of gentlemen that work for the City of Bowling Green go visit Mr. D Barbershop 2 at 840 Center Street. That's where he has his barber shop here in Bowling Green. He also has one in Russellville. He also owns a lawn care business called Savage Landscape and Turf Science. If that's not enough, he is also currently the president of Hillview Mills HOA. If he has any spare time, he enjoys playing golf and listening to jazz music. He is married to the former Keisha Myers, and I know this next thing is going to be what he considers his best accomplishment. He's the father of 4 daughters and has a grandchild. So it's my honor to recommend D. Savage to the BGMU Board.
Well, he sounds like an amazing pick, and can we congratulate him as well? I don't think he's here. Congratulations, Dee, and Melinda's making a recommendation, and on behalf of the mayor, I'm going to second that recommendation. And any comments, questions? Well, let's have a vote.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Thank you, Melinda.
You're welcome.
Municipal order number 2024-150.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Katie Schaller Ward to serve on the Intermodal Transportation Authority, Inc. Board of Directors and authorizing the submission of nomination to the Warren County Judge Executive.
So move.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
So, after much thought, I have been on the ITA board for quite a while, officially since 2006 when I became CFO. And so even before then, when I was first starting as city treasurer, but I felt like it was time for me to kind of step down, make room for other things going on that we've got going on here at the city. When I have weeks with 15 to 20 meetings, I think to myself, I got to do something different. So Katie has been so involved with the ITA for so long, I thought she was a logical choice. So I am making the recommendation that Katie take my spot on the ITA board, effective immediately, and would serve the rest of this year for the rest of my term, and then for a new term. So try to answer any questions you might have, but the ITA is in good hands, and Katie will make it even better. She attends pretty much every meeting, every finance committee meeting as well. Was heavily involved in the last bond issuance for the Transpark as well.
Congratulations. I've been on that board for a long time, and I don't know why I thought you were already on the board when I saw this, because you were always there. You're always there at the board meetings, so congratulations for making it official. And I always want to thank Melinda Hill for all of her work out there at the ITA. It wouldn't be here without her and General Cherry's tenacity and stick-to-itiveness. It just would not have happened. And so thank you for that. But the board meetings are exciting, and we talk a lot about the growth and how little land we have left, because it's pretty much all occupied except a small amount. And that's pretty incredible, because it's like tripled in size since the time that I started on the board. I mean, there was the ITA land, and then it doubled, and then it did that again. So I think we can all just be extremely proud of what's happened there, and the growth and development and the amazing jobs that are out there for people. The amazing jobs, and more to come. So thank you, Katie. Any questions or comments?
Congratulations. I couldn't see a better person to take the job and stuff. You've always, since I've been here, you made it easier to always look at the budgets and kind of understand what's going on within the city. So I believe that you will be a great fit. You've already been a great fit.
I would just like to thank Jeff for his service. And I can't imagine your daily schedule, Jeff, so thank you for serving so many years on the ITA. And Katie, I know you'll do a great job.
They give us a little break on that one. They don't start till 8:30 in the morning. So, anyway, let's make this official.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Okay, I can't help but noticing the first 10 items are all about promoting people and appointing people and things that are just making us move forward. So that's really nice to see on an agenda. 10 different ones. That's great. So we're going to move on to municipal order number 2024-151.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2024-43 for cabling from Forefront Solutions, Inc. of Clarksville, Tennessee, in an amount not to exceed $165,452.
So move.
Second. Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. Mr. Meisel?
Well, as you all know, we are heavily into the construction of our new Public Safety Training Center, soon to follow Fire Station 5, the rebuild of that. And Danita Weeks is also heavily involved in getting that building set up with all of the IT equipment. And before you tonight is an award for bid number 2024-43, which is for the cabling, all the wires and setup for all of the IT equipment, data, phone, TV, Wi-Fi, security cameras, access control, audio, video, all that kind of stuff at the training center. So Danita took the lead on this and went out for bid. Got some proposals. This is an evaluated bid. It's not cost only, but we got 3 good proposals. Cornerstone Information Systems, Forefront Solutions, and UDT. Danita and her team found that Forefront Solutions had the best proposal with a really good price for their services of $165,452. So we are recommending them to do the work out at the training center and the new Station 5 for the fire department. Danita's here, can answer your questions on this this item.
Questions, comments? Melinda? All righty. Let's take a roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-152.
Municipal order authorizing renewal of bid number 2023-47 for arboricultural services from the Tree Company LLC of Smiths Grove, Kentucky in an amount not to exceed $80,000.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Meisel?
As you all know, we've had the need for a lot of tree work here the last couple of years, and so we have to outsource this. There's so much to do, and we had a contract with, we went out for bid last year and selected the Tree Company LLC as our primary and Bushels and Blooms LLC as our secondary, and we would like to renew. Both of these companies have agreed to keep their pricing the same, and we would like to renew for an additional year. This budget item does not exceed $80,000. And I forgot to introduce our our acting Parks Director, Mike Mitchum, is still here and can answer any questions you might have while Brent's out of town. And Mike oversees a lot of this work that we need done with when trees go down with storms and everything else. So, but we were recommending just a re-up for another year with these two companies. Mike's here, can answer any questions you might have.
Questions, comments? All righty, call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-153.
Municipal order approving the purchase of Space Saver high-density mobile shelving in the amount of $147,713 with Patterson Pope of Cincinnati, Ohio through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract.
Moved.
Second.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr. Meisel.
So the police department, as you know, has the bulk storage building there on the corner of Adams and 11th, I think it is. And so we built that to house some high-density storage up in the main part of that building, and so as well as the main police building. But we found that when we go to this high-density shelving bulk evidence storage system, we can save a lot of space and actually create more storage capacity. We've got 5,130 cubic feet right now. By installing this system here, we can increase that to 8,400 cubic feet. And so we went out, found this contract on Sourcewell, one of our cooperative purchasing agreements, and it was a good price at $147,713. This is in our FY25 budget, and Major Ryan Burnham is here with us. He took the lead on getting this put together and can answer any questions you might have, but we're recommending the Patterson Pope Company through the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract Agreement for $147,713.
Is this specific for evidence? Is that what we're doing here? What are we storing? I just wanted you to have to come up here, Ryan, that's all.
All right. It will be used for evidence. It's where we have all our extra evidence that goes out into our bulk storage, so it gives us more storage space to have instead of just adding an additional building. So you're basically using the dead space that's in that area to maximize the storage area.
It hadn't been long since we built that evidence building.
August 4th of 2020, so we have a lot of evidence in there. Like right now, we're at about 90% full on the first floor.
Oh, so we must have needed it. Anybody have any comments, questions? Thank you for your work on that. All righty.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-154.
Municipal order authorizing a change order to the contract with Baker Contracting of Alvaton, Kentucky for fiscal year 2024 sidewalk construction in the amount of $85,085 for a total project cost not to exceed $1,005,088.95.
Moved.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr. Meisel.
So as you all will remember, we did approve the sidewalk construction contract recently. Soon after we approved it, we realized we had some available budget still left. And so we are bringing a change order to you to add a section of sidewalk along Rockingham Avenue there in front of Bowling Green High's baseball field around that curve. As you know, you see people walking in the grass and walking on the road. Students have to walk down in the street to and from school a lot of times to get through there. And so we felt we could handle this and include it with the sidewalk contract, which already included Riverwood Avenue, Rhodes Drive, section of Morgantown Road, and we would like to add this for $85,000 additional. And this would give us roughly 1,300 linear feet along Rockingham and go all the way to the driveway there between the school and the athletic facilities. Andy Souza, our Public Works Director, is here, can answer any questions on this addition or change order.
Very excited that we get to add this section in front of the high school, because like he said, there are students just walking in the street, and obviously there's lots of different weather conditions that students are trying to get to and from class, and plus the new tennis courts across the street. So will this be ready before school starts?
Yes, it will be. So the first section that Mr. Meisel already talked about is Morgantown Road. That's going to start tomorrow, and that should last through Friday, and we can start breaking ground if you approve this tonight next Monday. It should take 4 days.
How much?
Pretty confident we were going to agree to that.
Everyone loves sidewalks, so.
Much needed, much
ma'am.
needed improvement. Anybody else? Okay, let's call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-155.
Municipal order authorizing the purchase of tires for the Public Works Department Fleet Division through non-competitive negotiations with Best One Fleet Service of Bowling Green, Kentucky, BG Muffler of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Ziegler Tire and Supply Company of Massillon, Ohio, and the total amount not to exceed $72,500.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
We would need a really big warehouse to store all the tires we think we would ever need to replace on all of our vehicles and equipment. So what we do is we go out and we find the best prices and we lock them in. Just so happens these are out on the state pricing contract with Best One Fleet, Ziegler Tire, and BG Muffler. BG Muffler recently, a couple years ago, started selling tires and apparently have some good ones. And so we would be able to get Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin from these three companies. And we are recommending your approval to use the state pricing contract to go out and get these when we need them. Andy's here, can answer any questions you might have on this one.
Questions, comments? All right, call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-156.
Municipal order approving the purchase of an American Road Machinery leaf collector in the amount of $119,759.45 with Brown Equipment Company of Evansville, Indiana through TIPS Cooperative Purchasing Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Beasley Brown, second by Hill. Mr. Meisel.
So we have I think five leaf collectors, 10 zones to cover. And so in the FY25 budget, you all approved us to replace one of those that was aging. And we're here before you tonight. We found it on the TIPS. It's another one of our cooperative purchasing contracts with Brown Equipment for $119,759. And this would really help out Public Works Ops with hundreds of city street miles that they cover and the sidewalks and getting those leaves picked up each fall. So Andy, again, is here. Can answer any question you might have on this purchase of this leaf collector.
Do you have any comments or questions? All right, call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-158. I'm so sorry, no, 157.
Municipal order approving the purchase of a street sweeper with Stringfellow Inc. of Nashville, Tennessee in the amount of $353,783.20 through cooperative purchase under Kentucky State pricing contract.
So move.
Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
I think sometimes we take for granted the cleanliness of our city and our streets, and I've had comments from people that are visiting here about that, particularly that we do a pretty good job of keeping our streets clean, and we do that with equipment like this, street sweepers that we run, and we run these almost 24/7. We have a gentleman that runs this while we're all sleeping every night to keep our streets and roads clean. And so we're in the need of replacing one of these, and we found this one again out on the state pricing contract agreement. It's a Timco 600 Air Street Sweeper, and it's pretty pricey, but these do last a good while, and recommending this purchase for $353,383. This was approved in the FY25 capital improvement budget, and again, Andy's here, can answer any questions. It's happens to be from a company in Nashville, Tennessee, Stringfellow Inc., and I recommend your approval.
It's in July at the Public Works Department. This is great. Anybody have any questions, comments? And yes, Jeff, I agree with you. Our community is a clean community. I believe we are. Call the roll.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-158.
Municipal order approving the purchase of a cab tractor and mower attachment with Deere & Company of Cary, North Carolina in the amount of $176,053.08 through cooperative purchase under Kentucky State pricing contract.
So move.
Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
So we are getting Public Works Ops in good shape here. This is another FY25 capital piece of equipment that we really needed. It's a John Deere tractor with a Tiger boom on it that will mow right-of-ways and even mow up into the trees or brush on the side of a road to keep it nice and trimmed up. We did find this one again on the state pricing contract for the $176.53, and recommending going with that one. And this one involves a trade-in, I believe, and we're getting a little bit of money back on our old tractor, and I think a $15,000 trade-in value, so which nets this out to $176.53, and this happens to go with Wright Equipment, which is a local vendor here in Bowling Green, Warren County. Andy, again, can answer any questions you might have on this purchase.
Questions or comments?
Nothing runs like a deer, right?
That's exactly right.
Bailey.
Yes.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-159.
Municipal order authorizing the creation of a City of Bowling Green nonprofit known as A Better BGKY, Inc.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. Mr. Mizel.
For several years, staff has been kicking around this idea of this 501c3 organization. We get lots and lots of donations to our parks programs. Talia gets donations for downtown a lot of times, and then our most recent need that we saw for this was our Riverfront Park development. We feel like we have a really good opportunity to receive sponsorships and corporate donations on parts of that park that we're getting ready to put together. And so Brent Childers, Katie, Hillary, and myself, along with Brent Belcher and Talia, started putting our heads together on this and came up with a better BGKY Inc. for a 501c3 nonprofit. This would take in funds for every different source and apply it where it needed to go. If it was a parks donation for fitness, or a donation for Duncan Hines Days, or a donation to the Riverfront Park, we would put it in the right place, and Katie's going to account for it in our general ledger system. We wanted to maintain control of this as well, so we are recommending that we have 3 staff members out of the 5 on the board. Those staff members would be Brent Childers, Katie Schaller-Ward, and Brent Belcher as our staff board members, and then we would recommend two other folks to fill the board, and those starting out that we have in mind are Jim Steen and Tessa Norris, both connected with downtown and involved in different things with the city. So Brent Childers is here, can answer any of your questions. He's him and Talia as well. Talia Butler wrote this and put most of it together, and then worked with Hillary to make it all legal and nice and neat. And so we're all here for questions, whatever you might have, but we're recommending that we move forward with this to receive donations going forward, which would then be transferred to the city and put into the right bucket and the right direction.
If heaven forbid we ever have another disaster like we had before, could this 501c3 be used to collect donations for that as well?
It could. I wouldn't recommend it. The long-term recovery group kind of set that up as the standard for the community because they would oversee the case management, they'd oversee the volunteers, they'd oversee all that kind of care. So I wouldn't recommend it for that. But another opportunity that I could see for this is there are certain grant opportunities we're not eligible for because we're not a 501c3. More of your foundations, your corporate grants. So this is also an opportunity for us to apply through the nonprofit to receive those funding and then work that back in partnership with the city to secure that. So not as much on the disaster side. I understand the thought there, but I really see the long-term recovery group serving that role moving forward.
But
we
it
didn't
could
have
be.
it.
But
it could be. It could be. And heaven forbid, I hope we don't have another one.
Right, I agree.
And if we do, I hope it's far enough away that somebody else has to deal with it, not me and you and you and you, right? We've lived it, so we did our tour. So,
Yes.
But that's a couple of other ways I see it using, not as much in that way. Yeah, but
Thank
it
you.
could be.
Thank you.
Yes.
Piggybacking on Commissioner Hill's question, has another city did this, and if they have, was it set up where if there was a disaster, they actually use certain things?
We know we reached out, Ms. Erin Ballou out of our finance department did reach out to some of the other cities in Kentucky. Covington has one, they've just renamed it. I don't know about the disaster part, just because that's another element out there that we didn't ask about. Covington has had one for a while. So we're not the first ones. This isn't a new idea where we really recognize this idea. Some of you all remember several years ago, Karen in our department hosted the Regional Neighborhood Network Conference. And one of my tasks was going out to solicit donations for that. And I'm not the donor person. So what I saw was through a lot of the corporate things, you needed a nonprofit. You needed a 501c3. We started using Operation Pride. We've used Soki Marketplace. We've had to depend on other people and their generosity. Years ago, whenever PNC Bank wanted to invest in the park at Roland Bland, they had to give to a nonprofit. So we had to partner with United Way to be the recipient of the money to then transfer it back into the city. And so we've been doing the same thing for some period of time. It's just through outside partners. Well, we should just have our own and be able to have this. And with Riverfront being a big focus of the city commission moving forward, a big strategy in our strategic plan, and our contract with Mr. Weinberg, this is a big part of that. And he's going to talk to donors that need that avenue, that tax deduction as part of that. And so we need to set that system up. And so this is not a downtown thing. This is not a park thing. This is not a riverfront thing. This is really about the city of Bowling Green and our organization, and how do we best use dollars moving forward in partnership with our corporate citizens, our local citizens, to make investments in the community. So
These donations are targeted. They can be earmarked for certain projects. If I wanted to give you $10,000 for some specific thing, I'm assured that that's where it's going.
it could be an example. I'll tell you that's exactly where the name came from. As we were running different scenarios, it was, here's $100,000 for this amenity in this park. And then as we were kind of sketching out different things, I said, okay, here's one. Somebody says, here's $50,000, just go build a better Bowling Green. And Jeff goes, that's our name right there, a better Bowling Green. So we settled on a better BJKY. So that's where it came from as we were kind of talking through those examples of, somebody could earmark it specifically for a project, or somebody could say, no, I want to be a part of this. Here's a donation. You come back and tell me how you think you could use it the best. So there's some flexibility there, but either way, it's still under the city. It's still city controlled. There's still an oversight here as part of the city, so we maintain that. That was a big part for us to make sure that it followed our accounting standards, our procurement standards, all of the reporting. You tonight recognize the finance department for the GFOA. We want to make sure that the citizens and the donors know that this is a solid, reputable organization that you can invest your money with.
That'll be reported on.
Through some avenue.
Separately.
Yes. Yep.
We just didn't want to restrict it just to Riverfront Park or just to downtown.
Have three of them.
Or
four
have
of
three
them.
of them, so
Right.
we wanted to make it general enough where we could accept and then earmark it with the
All
request of the donors.
The examples tonight have all been money, cash, right? What if it's land? What if it's another asset? 501c3s have a little bit more flexibility in their ability to receive donations more than just cash than a local government does, and it's under the tax law. So this gives us that other way to achieve what we want to achieve and continue to make Bowling Green the best place to live. So.
Great idea. Thank you.
I want to thank you as well. I know one of the things I love about you is that when you see a barrier and a problem, you're not like, well, we just can't do it. You are somebody who thinks through and keeps working at it until we can, get through those barriers to improve our community. And this is so exciting. I know this has been a barrier for a while in a couple of different ways. And I'm just so excited about the ways that we're going to be able to grow our public-private partnerships through this new tool of a nonprofit, and just really excited about that. My one question I had is I know some of the conversations that I know have been a barrier is that we don't have a community development organization. Is this going to be able to function that way, or is that another entity as well?
I don't foresee it being
Okay.
that, just because the purpose of those is much more development-driven, acquisition, development, construction type things, and we don't see this as being that type of purpose. I think that would that would probably be much more community-oriented, less city financial transaction-oriented. That makes sense.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Great idea.
Thank you all.
Thank you. You want to call the roll?
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Municipal order number 2024-160.
Municipal order approving an agreement for provision of residence against drugs police officer with the Housing Authority of Bowling Green.
Second, I'll second it. Motion by Hill, second by Perigin. Mr. Mizel.
So for probably a couple of decades, we've had a great partnership with the Housing Authority of Bowling Green on combating drug-related activities through this Residents Against Drugs police officer program that we came up with years ago. And so what it entails is we dedicate an officer to patrol both campuses of the Housing Authority, their main campus out off Double Springs, as well as Bryant Way. And so we've always had the same pricing, same costing of this officer since day one. And as we've realized, inflation has really kicked us in the butt. We also do other services for other agencies and entities around town. And we have always given nonprofits a 50% break. And so as the chief was looking at renewing this, we got together and felt like we needed to really look at that $30,000 fee amount and try to get it more up to date with current salary levels at the 50% level. And so that number happened to be roughly $66,000 for half price of when you include all of the vehicles and equipment and fringe related to a police officer, that's roughly pretty close. And so we proposed that to Housing Authority and actually got together with Abraham and Katie and realized that, 66, going from 30,000 to 66,000 is very steep. And so we kind of got together and chatted for a while and decided to come up with more of a phased-in approach. So you'll see that in the new agreement on page 2 under the payments. We've come up with kind of a 4-year phase-in to try to get to the $66,000 level by FY28 plus whatever the COLAs are. And so we are proposing for FY25 to try to get the $30,000 to the $39,000 mark. Katie's here with Housing Authority, and her and Abraham, I feel like we came to an agreement, something that they could manage and be okay with. And so that's what we're here tonight to propose to you. It is to accept or adopt this new agreement with Housing Authority with these FY25, 6, 27, 28 dollar amounts for the agreement and try to get to that point. So Chief Delaney is here, took the lead on this, and I'll let Chief, you got anything to add to that? Can answer questions about what services we provide if you have any.
Yeah, that would be nice to hear. And my question is that's not the only patrol that we do for there's general patrol all over the city to include the properties that are managed by the Housing Authority, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So they have a dedicated officer with them, Norman Simpson, who's on call. Really, they have unrestricted access to a police officer 24/7. So even if Norman's not at work, they're able to call him, and we'll send patrol officers to handle the situation. But Norman has an intimate relationship with those in Housing Authority, so he might be able to give the officers who are responding some information on what's going on in that community, what's going on in that household. So it's really a great partnership to have someone embedded in there. But he's not the only officer. We still respond to calls when Norman's off. He's on vacation. He's gone to training. So they just have a dedicated officer to really dig deep into some of those issues that might come up in Housing Authority. He's involved in community events in Housing Authority, really building relationships and that partnership with that community so they can trust him, help solve crimes, prevent crimes, all those things that are related to really having an intimate relationship with the police department.
I want to thank you so much for this program. This is one of the things that when people come, people have come from all over our nation to visit our Housing Authority and to look at the amazing things that they're doing. And I know they are so grateful that part of that is this partnership we have with them. That, I was just in Covington for my professional development for our family resource, and part of what we were doing was looking at the partnerships between the community groups and the schools and their city. And the tour showed a lot of their Housing Authority. All of it has been raised because of crime and a lot of the public safety issues. And it's just when you get out of our little bubble of how amazing Bowling Green is, we forget sometimes about how special it is that we have it here, that not only do we not have those same crime issues in our Housing Authority, but it is thriving and all these programs that are winning amazing awards. And I just can't thank you all enough for just being leaders and thinking about, how to be a community police and a partner with the Housing Authority and making it safe to raise a family. And there are lots of cities that don't have that partnership, and we can see that their communities suffer because of it. And seeing that investment in the prevention of crime really is an incredible investment. And I saw that Katie Miller from the Housing Authority, she was here. I'd love to hear from your perspective about what this partnership has meant for the Housing Authority.
Yeah, so as Jeff mentioned, we've had a RAD officer probably since the 90s, since drug elimination come along. And they have been vital to the Housing Authority of Bowling Green, the services that they provide. It has helped keep crime down. It's helped keep loitering down. We have that relationship with an officer. So it's been a valuable asset to the Housing Authority, and we are grateful for it as well.
I wanted to ask you about these numbers here because it's jumping from, is it 30,000 is the current?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, to 66,000 plus COLA in 4 years. And so that's more than doubling that. And I know as you rely a lot on grants. I know you all work hard every year just trying to make sure y'all have every dollar you can to have these programs that have made such an incredible impact on kids in the Housing Authority and families. So in 2028, do y'all have that 66,000 plus COLA?
So it'll have to come from something else. I mean, we don't have the ability to raise additional funds. We have what HUD gives us and then the tenant rental income. So it's going to come from something else in our budget to help cover that cost. But it is a valuable resource that we have. And so we feel to continue that resource, it's kind of an option that we needed to pursue.
But you would have to cut a program in 28.
We have to cut something. I mean, it could be, materials for maintenance supplies or somebody's wages, but something would have to be cut in order to cover that, yes.
Thank you, that's helpful information.
Katie, one other question. Does the HUD amount that you receive, the Housing Authority receives each and every year, does that change?
So what happens is you submit it's what's called subsidy, what HUD gives you, and they have a percentage. So 100% is an amount. So we're only currently receiving about 92% of our subsidy. So we're down. We're usually getting 95 to 97%. So we're currently taking a little cut on the subsidy now.
So it could change next year as well?
It could. I mean, I've seen subsidy get as low as 88%. You just don't know from year to year what it's going to be.
Or do you have the ability to be flexible with the rent, or is the rent fixed?
So our rent is fixed. We have the ability to increase according to the rent standards that are set, and HUD sets those for us, what the rents are. So we can't charge $1,500 for a one-bedroom because that's above HUD standards. So.
Are you at 100% of what HUD allows?
We are currently not. We're about 80%.
Okay, so there's some room there. And I also want to ask Chief Delaney, is this proposal different than the way we do any other nonprofit organization in our community? 50% of the cost?
It's a nonprofit, correct. We have an agreement also right now with Bowling Green Independent School Systems. They have a school resource officer there. That's where we came up with this number. They paid 50%, and we walked them into the 50% actually because they wanted a school resource officer there. In the county, the sheriff charges 100% for school resource officers. So we're trying to be flexible and still provide a service to the citizens and be mindful of tax dollars also.
I'd like to say I want to thank the city. I appreciate this. I know it'd be more beneficial for the city just to hit Housing Authority with the full amount, even at 50%. But I appreciate you all realizing they are a nonprofit and working with them to do this gradually instead of hitting them all at once. I think that's a big benefit, and I do appreciate the kindness you all have shown in working with them and doing this gradually.
Let me ask you this. Is there another amount that can be agreed to? The way I see it, I come from the area. I think that you know that. So I knew what it was like 30 years ago. I knew that it used to have drugs over there by, and it used to have needles. I think you probably know yourself, even before you was an officer, Chief, that over there by the basketball court, it used to be really, really bad at one point. When I'm looking at the residents against drugs, I feel like that there's an investment on both sides, even with the kids and everything else that we have that's going on, the programs that they offer, because it gives some of the children some of the hope that they may not necessarily see. If we don't have some of these programs, I feel like that later on, we could ask for 6 or 7 officers, which would be more impactful over there. It's going to cost the city more. So I guess what I'm asking, is there another amount that we can possibly agree to that can phase it to something at a later date? So these amounts that cutting someone's salary or cutting a program would not occur over a longer period of time, or if we can even come back.
You've heard from Katie, though, the service that we provide is not just patrols, it's interaction with the community. We do the back to school bash where we're giving backpacks away. We're actually taking resources from the police department's budget to invest back in that community. So it's not just the relationship building, we're also involved in mentoring programs. The RAD officer goes above and beyond what normal officers do every day. So the investment that we're giving, I just want to be mindful of a budget, and that's what we charge Bowling Green Independent Schools. So 50% seems fair, and I never like to pick and choose between what's the best program. Bowling Green Independent Schools, that's very valuable to them also. So to be fair and equitable across the board, I never want to be seen as the one who, well, it's cheaper for them, but we're going to charge them more, or it's more for them because of where they live at. It's fair across the board, and we try to be involved in the community the best way we can.
I feel like this is a proactive prevention type of a program for safety and keeping.
We've had a RAD officer, like she said, since the 90s, and we've seen a tremendous change in the way that we are able to solve crimes in the Housing Authority area and able to prevent crimes because of that relationship that we've built. It took years to build, and we continue to build those relationships in that area. And the officer that they get for the Resident Against Drugs officer, it's not a brand new officer. We always send them someone who's usually a master police officer with years of experience that knows how to deal with those difficult situations. And we're taking them out of patrol to dedicate them just to this program.
Last question. Is it possible if we do like this breakdown, instead of doing it over a 4-year period, we could do it over a 6-year period?
It was an agreement that Katie felt was realistic and affordable. We met with her and Mr. Williams and both of us together because we said, what do you want to do it over 1 or 2 years or 3 years? And then Mr. Meisel proposed 4, and they said, yeah, we think 4 is the number. So we've stretched it out over 4 years to walk it in. I think we walked Bowling Green Independent Schools in over 2 years to get them to that number.
So everybody was in agreement to this program?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a service that we have to have and provide. Of course, if Abraham was here, he would can we split it over 20 years, which would have been great. I mean, so we felt it was a service that we needed. And if that needed to be 4 years, 6 years would be great, but it's a service we want to continue to provide. And it kind of was something, if we maybe didn't do it, the service wouldn't be provided. We weren't 100% certain, but the police department has been wonderful. The officer has been wonderful, so.
And I want to make it very clear, I appreciate you guys being there because, again, I know what that area used to look like. I do. And I know what the area looks like today. My wife comes from the housing authority from where she's from. And I could tell you that some housing authorities from Louisville and different areas, it doesn't look quite as good as Bowling Green. When some people come down here, they don't even realize that they're in the housing authority. And that's a testament to Katie, you guys that's there. I'm just trying to figure out a way that can make it a little bit more easier for them so they don't have to cut a service, but also making sure that you guys are getting what you need. That's the reason why I suggested 6 years.
I also just want to, again, just thank everybody, the Housing Authority, the BGPD. Public safety is the foundation of a thriving city. And that's what makes this partnership so great, is that providing affordable place for families to live that is that foundation of safety, and that you all have that leadership in our community of showing what it means for the police and a community to be partners and to know the names of the residents and for them to know their name and to build that special relationship is such an incredible program. And I would love to see if there's a way for us to continue to continue this amazing partnership, but not in a way that means that they're going to have to cut a program. And so, Hillary, I might need your help here. I'm just wondering if there is a way for, I don't know how I might be able to propose an amendment to table it, just to see if is there another pot of money that we could add, so that's not, we can add money to our police department's budget, so that he's not trying to find money for it, but how can we add funds? Because I think all of us would agree that, investing more in public safety, making sure our housing authority continues to be this bright and shining example of an amazing place to raise a family. Maybe there's another place we can find some money to add to the police department's budget so we can continue this partnership. So what would the process be to?
If you're just wanting to postpone it so that you can check on that, you can make that motion. Yeah, or if you know what you want to do, then you could make a motion to amend the agreement. But yes, if you just want to put it on the next agenda and check into additional funding, then that's something you can do.
Jeff, what would be best, do you think, to just sit down and let's look and see if there's other funding?
I'm okay with you all making an amendment on the floor if you want to however you want to spread it out. We'll try to work on it, work with it.
So maybe, how would I word an amendment to maybe table it for now so we can just look at potentially find some other funding?
I would like to make one comment, is that if you spread it out too far, then forgive my language, but you're chasing your tail with the cost of living adjustment, and you never really get there. So anything more than 4 or 5 years, we thought was like, you really don't ever quite get caught up. So.
And then eventually they are having to cut a program, right? And so I think for me, that's why I feel like it might be good for us to just be able to sit down and see if there's some funding we could find somewhere.
It also sounded like there was some room or opportunity on the revenue side at Housing Authority to better. I think they said you say 80%, Katie, you could go.
For the residents to actually pay for the protection, half of the protection that they're receiving through their rents.
That is a process that has to go through our HUD office, so it's not something I can do this year. It's usually about a 2 to 3 year process to get rents increased. So that's not even something I can do this fiscal year that we're starting in October. So it's too late for that process.
Yeah, whatever you all want to do, but Chief, I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like we need to get off the block with the 30,000 that it's been there for so long, and it hasn't ever been adjusted by cost of living and inflation, and you all know what the cost of an officer is now, and we're putting an MPO, which is even a higher costed officer out there for patrol. And so whatever y'all want to do, if you want us to spread this out longer, but we just need some direction.
I think
we could look at this 50 different ways. So I
just think I would love to see us get to a win-win, because when we can start from this prevention place where we're working together as partners to prevent crime from happening, which is the whole point of this partnership, and realizing the taxpayer dollars we're saving by preventing crime on the front end and building those relationships like Commissioner Bailey had mentioned about versus, having to, respond to a whole bunch of crime, and more space for evidence for victims of crime, all these things that, crime prevention can prevent in terms of taxpayer dollars being spent. Would you form it, so just to table it so we can just maybe sit down and with the real costs, aware of the real cost for the Housing Authority, maybe sit down and come up with an agreement.
Right, so if you want to put it on a definite date, then you would make a motion to postpone it to a certain date. If you wanted to put it, for example, on the next agenda. If you want to table it indefinitely, then you would just do a motion to table. So if you want to put it on an upcoming agenda, it would be to postpone.
Katie, in terms of kind of cost, in terms of like what would a program, $36,000 for you all, what would that look like? How much time would you think you all need to get together for a real cost to the Housing Authority if we increased it to 66 plus COLA?
Yeah, and I guess I can't give you a definite answer because I don't know what HUD is going to give us in subsidy. So it's constantly changing. I mean, so 3 months we'll get 92%, 2 months we'll get 90%, 2 months we'll get 95%. So it's a constant change. This year's budget, we can't, this is it. That's all we can maintain. That is what was calculated, so there's no more. And we're at zero across the board, revenue, expenses. I don't have any surplus. So, now I don't know what the next fiscal year is going to hold.
Katie,
So,
can you tell us,
Yeah.
is your fiscal year June 30th?
It's October 1.
October 1, okay, thank you. So,
Do we want
so
to?
you would be working this into your October 1 to September 30th, 25 budget coming
Yes.
up? And have
I
you,
worked in, I think I only worked in 35,000 is what I worked in to have a zero amount, so.
okay. I want to do.
I have two questions. Is he making only $30,000?
$30,000 was set over 20 years ago, and that was 50% of an officer's salary back
And-
then, and it hasn't changed in over 20 years.
And I knew that. I just want to make sure that the public knew that, because sometimes when they hear that it's 30,000, they're probably thinking that this officer that's over there is only making $30,000.
That's all we're getting reimbursed, and that amount was set, like I
Got it.
said, over 2 decades ago.
The second question, if this was postponed just a little bit, to see if we can come up with the money somehow, would that hurt the Bowling Green Police Department? Since their budget doesn't go into effect, and I believe that she said October 1st of this year?
Postponing it?
Yeah, just a little bit, to see if there's another way.
We've postponed for 20 years, so another couple months won't hurt.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
I feel like once we get this in play, that it needs to be done every single year, that it needs to be 50%, just like every other nonprofit, every year, regardless. Don't wait 20 years, because that's the pain. That's the pain point. If it was a little each year, it would not be painful.
And we did that. We did put it in the agreement plus a COLA. So whether you do it now or when we come back,
Yeah, I
that
understand
part
that moving
wouldn't
forward, but
change.
going backwards, it's
So-
20 years.
So can clarify, are we postponing?
I think that
And can you give me
Commissioner Beasley
direction
Brown,
on what you want to see when we bring it back?
right, wants to make a motion to postpone to
Yeah,
the
just to
next
table it.
agenda?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. In order to explore additional funding for the position.
Can I ask Katie a question? When are you going to find out what HUD is providing you for the next fiscal year? If it starts in October, they're going to have to tell you something fairly quickly.
No, they don't. So what they do is it gets posted on HUD's website, and so they'll put your proration for January to March, and then in March, they'll give you what your proration is maybe for April or May. You don't even know the entire year. You get them in months, batches, what the proration is. So I do our budget on the bare minimum, so, because that's what we've been getting. I mean, we've had lucrative years where we got 100%, but that's been a while, so I usually do our budget on 92% proration is what I do. Yes, sir.
So question to the board, I mean, we're at 9,000 increase per year, give or take. So that's a little less than $1,000 a month. That's $750 plus or minus a month. Give us a target. Do you want to half that and spread it out twice as long, or, I mean?
That's what I'm saying. We should just.
Not the difference between 9,000 and
It is.
6,000 or 9,000 and 4,500. We're kind of splitting hairs, I think, in a way for this size of a budget, so.
I feel like we should honor the agreement that was made between the chief, Katie, Abraham, you, whoever else was involved that came up with what they agreed to. This is an agreed to thing, Katie, is that true?
Yes.
This is an agreed to
Mr.
thing.
Williams agreed to it because we needed to continue to provide the service, so.
So the
that
service
was-
is valuable enough
Yes.
to you all to pay for it, half of the price of it, and that's an
That was-
agreement amongst everybody.
But
Because if you didn't, you wouldn't have a RAD
he
officer
was
anymore.
afraid possibly we would not have the current RAD officer. I mean, if Abraham, he would space it out over, as I said, 20 years. I mean, nobody wants an increase, and that it's understandable. We all have increases, so.
I think that we all agree on that, and I think that we agree trying to get the chief the amount that he wants. Where the disagreement comes in that is basically to see if there's another way to find the funds that basically to make sure that we're getting, they can get paid as well. So I think that's the reason why we're asking for just a short layover to come back a little bit later to get you guys paid the amount that you're requesting. So some of it may not all come from the housing authority, but we find another way to get you guys paid that will honor that agreement. I think that's what you're
I
asking.
don't know that there's any other opportunities for grants, or we asked them that when we met with them.
Well, that's why I'm just asking, can we just table it for one meeting? Just let's just, with the real cost, knowing that they're going to have to cut a program that benefits the community, and they felt like they had to do that in order to not lose the RAD officer. Is there a way to come up with a win-win? That the police department gets the funding that they need to cover this program in full, and that they don't have to cut a program, they can continue this partnership just to make sure, right? Just a 2-week delay. Let's just make sure there isn't another way we could potentially, increase funding for public safety, the police department, and make sure they don't have to cut a program. So if I could just make the motion to postpone a vote.
You wouldn't postpone the item, this agenda item, to the next agenda, which is August 6th.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to postpone this agenda item until August 6th, our next meeting. The motion was made by Beasley Brown, and the second was Carlos Bailey. And do we need a roll call?
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
No.
Perigin.
No.
So the motion fails, so then you would then take a vote on the agreement, unless there's another motion on the agenda item as it is.
I would like to say, as an executive director of a nonprofit, all nonprofits budget the least amount possible. We receive federal funding as well, and you never know. And you have to create a budget not knowing that federal number. And that number doesn't come in as you budgeted. You look for other ways to get funding, be it another fundraiser, be it reaching out to your donors. I have full confidence in the Housing Authority that you all will find some tree to shake. You all have done it throughout the years, and I think you do a great job. And I appreciate that you, both groups, the city and the Housing Authority, work to come up with these numbers. So thank you.
I just would like to say that I'm just disappointed. We have spent millions of dollars tonight, and we can't find $36,000 to continue a 20-year partnership that has made an incredible positive impact on our community, and that's really disappointing.
I agree with that. And the only reason why I agree with that, and they talk about, I guess, the Housing Authority can come up with the money. I can't be dismissive that Mr. Abraham Williams is going to be leaving, someone who's been there for the last 30 years. And right now, we're going to be in a new person, and hopefully it's someone that I like. It'll be a new person that's going to be heading the Housing Authority. And if that new person doesn't get the same amount that they've gotten in the past, we do know that some of the programs will be cut. Katie, I just have one last question, though. Anticipating this 66, or I guess the new amount that you have to pay, can you request more from HUD? Put that in your budget.
HUD has its forms, you complete those, and they tell you what your subsidy is, and that's a proration. There's no request for additional funding.
Tell them what your budget is, right?
No.
You don't tell them what you need?
They take how many units you have, what your utility expenses are, they put all that together, and then what your audit costs are, and then they tell you what they're going to give you. We don't give a budget to them. They tell us the amount and we have to make it work.
I believe strongly in equity, and if Bowling Green High is doing this, the same thing, then the Housing Authority should. What I wouldn't be opposed to is maybe extending it by 2 years to soften the blow just a little bit. That wouldn't be a problem for me at all. Sure, certainly. But I do feel like it needs to be equal for everybody across the board, that somebody wants to have a run, and it's a nonprofit fundraiser, they pay 50% of the cost of the policing agencies. These
Well, I
nonprofits
do-
that do
yeah.
great work, that struggle just like every other nonprofit, and I don't want to pick one over the rest of them up here.
Yeah, but this isn't like they're, providing security for an event. Like this agreement says that the Housing Authority acknowledges that this agreement and the provision of a RAD officer does not create any special type of relationship between the City of Bowling Green and the Housing Authority, and the Police Department is not undertaking any duty to provide any additional or special services to the Housing Authority or any of the residents to the RAD area. So they're just providing the type of amazing work they do, which is this community policing model in this area where they know that having a special officer in the same place that they can get to know has this benefit of using that model helps prevent crime, and that's a win-win for our whole community for reducing crime.
That is why they've
So
chosen.
this agreement says they're not providing security for a nonprofit event. This is just the fact that we're saying that there's just one officer in this area and that there's a benefit to our community to have one person there versus, rotating people through.
I think what I was hearing was there was an additional officer assigned to the Housing Authority campuses over and above what's already the regular patrol through our taxpayer-paid patrol. This is extra.
Whatever it has happening, we know it is working, and it is
Right.
amazing positive impact
And-
on our community, and we should keep it.
And clearly, the Housing Authority agrees with that and does not want to let it go, because they could have let it go and been like every other neighborhood in this community that got patrol, correct, Katie? I mean, you'd be like every other neighborhood in the community with patrol, which is not enough. It's not enough. I don't agree with doing away with it at all. But if it would help and soften the blow to extend it to 6 years, I would be a yes vote for that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the officer is very vital to the area. It helps keep crime down. If they know an officer is in the area, crime is less likely to happen. So if we didn't have an officer, there would be more patrol cars probably over there having to patrol. So it helps keep crime down.
Hillary, how will we, I guess, phrase it to do a motion for 6 years as opposed to the 4?
Do you mind if I amend it?
Oh, you would just make
Make
a
a motion.
motion to amend the terms of the agreement.
Okay.
Right.
Can anybody want to comment on that amendment? Yeah, would that be acceptable to you for a 6-year right sizing rather than, and I understand with Jeff, it's just going to keep compounding and that's the way it's going to be, but hopefully cost of living will somehow or another miraculously start coming down a little bit.
I think that's acceptable. What we had built into the agreement that each year there's a cost of living, so the next chief 20 years from now is not coming before commission saying we're behind the 8 ball and the cost needs to be additional. So there shouldn't be a need for a change moving forward because we have that built into the agreement. So 6 years is fine with me.
So to avoid doing the math on the floor, if
Yes.
you all agree, we'll just fix the agreement. Katie will do the math and the calculations, and we'll change and amend the agreement if you all.
Can I make a motion?
Direct us to.
So I know Hillary made a suggestion. My suggestion would be to postpone, to allow staff to rework the terms of the agreement for a 6-year period to get the correct dollar values and then represent the new modified agreement to you at the next meeting. Would that be what we could do? And at that point, hopefully, we'd have all 5 of you here and be able to take a vote on that. I too don't want to do math on the floor. I'm going to fail.
No need in math on the floor. I'm just saying, we're going
Yeah.
to make the agreement,
But
and then you
yeah.
all can give us the numbers whenever.
Okay.
It's okay,
Okay.
They're not going to change dramatically over a 2-year extension.
Right.
But I think if we just, let's just
Can
go
we
on and
call-
get it over with.
Go to 6,000 a year, isn't it?
In-
36,000 and 42.
Yeah, I don't think we have to do the numbers on the floor. If you want to make a motion to
let's
go
do it.
over 6 years, then we'll just
Okay.
adjust the
Bring it
agreement,
back.
send it over, and
Be
get it
done with
signed.
it. Be done with it tonight.
But if you want to know the numbers,
Okay.
then you can do that.
No.
Could I ask a clarifying question? So in 2028, it's 66,000. That's 50% of a police officer's salary in 2028?
It's benefits, salary, retirement,
Right.
everything.
But the original agreement at 30,000 was just salary or salary and fringe?
Or 20 years ago, we couldn't find that original agreement, but that
It was
was,
in the mid or early 90s,
yeah.
so
So that probably was, in 1998 when I started, my salary was 21,000.
Salary and fringe.
So it was probably salary and fringe then.
So are you all okay to make a motion to extend the agreement for 6 years pursuant to the numbers coming to us some other date? Is that okay?
Second.
Okay. Then I'm going to make a motion to amend and extend this agreement to a 6-year, what are we calling it, payout or correction, to provide some leeway for the housing authority to be able to come up with the money effectively.
Second.
So it would be a motion both, because the municipal order also says 4 years. So it'd be a motion to amend the municipal order and the agreement to reflect the increase over a 6-year term.
And you have a motion from Sue and a second from Dana Beasley-Brown.
which in rough numbers is going to be $6,000 plus COLA. Instead of yeah. So it'll be 36,000, 42,000 plus COLA, 48,000 plus COLA, and on 56,000 plus COLA, and you'll
Again, we-
finally get to the 66.
You know, so specific numbers can
Yeah.
come at a later date, but thank you for that.
If that gets us
Head
close.
math. Head math. So we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any more discussion? If not, call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Great discussion, great discussion. Ordinance number BG 2024-13, second reading, binding.
We have one more municipal order.
Oh, I am so sorry. I don't know why I keep checking these. Municipal order number 2024-161.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to execute the fifth amended and restated lease agreement with GL LLC, formerly Crawdaddy Enterprises, Inc., doing business as 440 Main, related to the lease of a sidewalk located at 438 and 440 Main Avenue.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
I am going to hand this one off to Hillary. She's worked on this lease at 440. It's a sidewalk lease. Hillary?
440's under new ownership. Tom sold it, so,
Kevin Golf.
Kevin, yes. So I've just prepared a new lease with the new owner so that they can continue that sidewalk lease. I did change too, if you'll recall, Tom had agreed to put in the barriers. Then he priced them, they were really expensive, and he, had some things going on in his personal life as well. So we never got there. What I put in here, since they just bought it, was that upon the request of the city, that they will do that, that will give them a reasonable time. So that's something, if you all want to discuss that at a later date, we can take up.
I will make just one comment on barriers. Since we passed the EDC, barriers are not that relevant anymore, so just keep that in mind.
Comments, questions? Glad to see 440 live on. It's a great restaurant.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Okay. We'll go back to ordinance number BG 2024-13.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 18 Occupational License Fees and Taxes of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances related to allocation for special tourism projects.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Bailey. Mr. Mizel. This is a second reading, non-binding, and I believe it was a unanimous vote on our last meeting. So Any further discussion or comments or additions? Go ahead.
To this particular item?
Uh-huh. Okay. Then I guess we could just go ahead and call the roll. Hope?
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2024-14, second reading, binding.
Ordinance relating to budget amendment. Ordinance approving amendment number 4 to the City of Bowling Green, Kentucky annual operating budget for fiscal year 2024.
So move.
Second?
Motion by Hill, second by Beasley Brown. This was our second reading again, so do we have anything to add, Mr. Meisel, or any comments or questions here?
Do not.
I believe it was another unanimous vote, so we're just call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes. We don't think we have any sorry.
Before you adjourn, I think, so we voted on the amendment. I think we need to go back and vote on the municipal order and the agreement as amended to
Okay.
approve that. Does
We
that
can do
make
that.
sense? We
Yes.
voted on the amendment, but I think we need, just to
Yes.
clear
Yes.
up the record on.
So for the record, we're going to go back to item number 20, and we're going to vote on the amended version of the new municipal order. Okay? We voted to amend it, now we're going to vote on the amended version.
Do we need to
Municipal
make a
order
motion and second?
Yes, we need a motion and a second.
2024-160.
We had already motioned.
No, we motioned in second for the amendment. Now we're going to motion in second
okay.
on the voting of the revised municipal order. Okay, so we need a motion and a
So
second.
move.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion from Hill, a second from Bailey, and please call the roll.
Bailey?
Yes.
Beasley Brown?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes, thank you for that clear up. Not seeing any public comments. Our next scheduled meeting, thank you, everybody, for bearing with me here. This is not my,
Great job.
but thank you. We did, in fact, get through it, and we're all, still here. So I appreciate everybody's patience with me. The next scheduled meeting is August 6, 2024, and we'll consider this meeting adjourned. Thank you.